go again. I woke back up at City Hall, ready to start my next shift. While my first shift was eventful, I felt like I left a lot undone. I felt I could have defended the City Hall better than I did. God damn it. It was time to get back to work. Walking into the lobby, I saw there was some mess on the floor. There were bloodstains next to Louise's desk. I asked her, "Louise, my sweet, what happened while I was resting?" She didn't respond. A dame with glasses and tattooed arms walked up to me. She said, "Hello, officer." I corrected her. "No, ma'am, I'm not an officer. My name is Benedict Security. I'm the new security guard here. I'm keeping the place safe."
Security, how you doing?
She asked me how I was. I said, "Never better." I returned the query. I said, "How are you, ma'am?"
I'm doing pretty good then.
She said she was doing fine. I ended the conversation there while she used the shredder. I walked back over to the door so I could begin standing guard. I had a feeling it was about to be a long night. Just then it hit me. My throat was parched, so I walked back over. I stood by the water cooler, my mouth screaming for fluids. I took a big cup of ambient temperatured water, and I had a big old sip. Immediately, I felt much better. I figured I'd start my shift by checking the car park. The parking lot. Los Santos. Its muggy skies greeted me as always. But oh my god. There'd been a massacre outside. A car had been broken into. There was dead people everywhere. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to call. So I did the only thing I knew what to do. I went back inside. On my way back up the steps, I recalled the kid I killed back in Boston. His head made like a red mist when I shot him 3 times. It was a similar sight to out here, just blood and brains and guts everywhere. Once I got inside, I went up to the desk. I saw Nathan had been hit in the head with a sledgehammer. Probably deserved it, to be honest. That Nathan was no good. An officer wearing the markings of the BCSO approached my side. He said hello to me. I returned the greeting. He said, "How you doing?" And I awaited his response.
I'm doing good. How are you?
He stated he was doing well and returned the query to me. Then I responded, "I'm doing fine. Unfortunately, the many people outside the doors of this city hall are not doing fine. There's been a massacre out there." I started walking that way to show him the sight that had just befallen my eyes.
I think you need a cough drop, sir.
Shit.
Oh, hello.
I got back to my senses and saw that there was some kind of furry behind me.
I'm not a furry, I'm the sex fox.
I wasn't one to judge, so I went back about my duties. I led the officer outside to show him the massacre I'd seen.
Goodbye.
Oh, that's
I
a
can
fucking
narrate
white
from
ass
that.
stance, brother. Hell yeah.
A bearded man walked in and complimented me on my stance. But I had a mission to do. I walked around the steps of the city hall and pointed out all the dead people. My
It's like a
God,
narrator from the Mafia games.
it's like a fire sale at a bodega. People just came in, took what they wanted. What they wanted was the lives of innocent people. My
What's your
second
name?
shift was security at City Hall, and I had to witness this. The sheriff turned to me and asked me my name. So, I reached into my wallet and pulled out my state ID and I exclaimed, "Nice to meet you. I'm Benedict Security.
Nice
the
to
new
meet
guard
you,
here.
Benedict.
Just waiting to get hired, so hopefully I'll get paid to put some food in my tummy."
Oh, nice.
I bid the sheriff farewell and headed back inside to see what all the hubbub was about. By God, I couldn't stop thinking about her, Louise, that fine dame behind the counter. If only there was some way I could make her mine. Entering back into the lobby, I realized something. All the blood and death in the air outside the city hall. It had made me real thirsty. So I headed back over to the water cooler.
I'm
Press
still
the-
loving the issue, by the way.
I filled up a cup with the cold water this time.
So it took me a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem at all.
I went to find
Can
someone
I
to
shred
take
my
a
old
seat.
badge in here yet?
Say again?
I shred my old badge in there now.
I don't know actually. I've got a spare. Oh, we can now?
Took my place on the opposite of the room and just watched the huff and fuss going on around the city hall's lobby. A lot busier than it had been on my first shift. So far, no magistrate had hit me with a gavel. So I was feeling pretty good about the evening.
Monologuing in this bitch.
That is the new security.
I realized at that moment, because of my unfortunate incident earlier, I hadn't eaten anything. All I had was the raw ground beef and it sent me to the hospital. So I looked in my lunchbox and I saw it right there, staring at me. A meat-free combo. And I still wasn't a lesbian. As I went to eat my combo, the glasses lady with the tattoos, who obviously had dressed up as the furry minutes prior, came over and gave me a chicken fajita and a bleeder combo. I said, "Ma'am, you didn't have to do that. Thank you."
No, it's fine.
just
I
wanna
like
leave
making
the
sure
lobby.
people are fed.
She said it was fine. She said she was sure she'd like to make sure people were fed.
Why are you saying that?
Clearly a mother hen at the DOJ. That stands for Department of Justice. We had one back in Boston. There was nothing just about Boston, though.
Wow, who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Who are you?
Oh God, did I? I didn't want to give it to you. I
I
don't
figured it
give
was time to start doing my rounds. So I went to the elevator. I figured I'd start with floor 4. The floor seemed clear. All of a sudden, I heard an explosion downstairs. I ran back into the lobby and exclaimed, "Everybody get down, there's been an explosion."
Okay,
And then I
that's
rushed
fine.
outside
Can
to
I get
check
my
where it
money
came
back?
from. At that point, I had to pull my service weapon so I could secure the perimeter of the city hall. My eyes were peeled for any signs of something exploding, but I saw nothing. There had been an explosion, but where it came from, I had no idea where. My my investigation had come to a close. Once I was absolutely sure the outside of the courthouse was clear of explosions, I re-entered the lobby.
No, I fucking sailed the whole thing all the way down from Alamo.
I went
But
behind
it's,
the counter to stand for
probably not
weeks.
close enough, surely.
I felt comfortable there.
But they can make the paperwork go through, right? They can fill it all in correctly, but as soon as they hand me the
Folded my
paperwork,
arms, so anybody
there's
came
no
in
paperwork
wanted to
for me
cause
to
trouble.
see.
They'd know I'm in
Have
business.
you guys tried getting it onto a flatbed and then...
Yeah,
Like, what boat
this-
is it, firstly?
It's the reefer fishing boat.
Okay, so... Maybe see if you can get it onto a flatbed and then off the
We-
flatbed in the lot.
We
And
couldn't get it onto a flatbed at all. So the first time before I sailed it down the Alamo, I was like, I got rigs to basically come and try and get it. And we put it so far. Oh, that's a good picture, actually.
I grew
We
tired of the
managed to
small
ramp
talk
it up.
going
Cat
on.
ears and a cat
They
bit.
were talking about
Ah,
boats. Reminded me of
I
my
can't-
childhood with my pa. He owned the boat. He once pushed my little brother off it for being a little bastard. My little brother remembered that.
My problem is that
I always thought it was the gout that would have got my dad. Never thought it would be my little brother with the baseball that would ultimately kill him.
It's been a couple days though.
That was life in Boston.
Even the seller is like, look.
You'd never know when your number was getting punched.
Yeah, it could do. To be fair.
And if it doesn't work, then... Yeah, just
I tell you,
Yeah.
I'll end up with
wait for the...
Los Santos.
Yeah.
I figured I'd go and check out the first floor, see if the chandelier was still at risk of falling. On the floor, I could see the balcony was still a little bit wobbly. I went over to check it, and I could see one of the bulbs was loose. So, me being the idiot that I was, I started reaching over the railing, trying to get the lamp bulb back in place. But I reached too far, and I fell. I hit the floor like a sack of shit. After I fell trying to fix that chandelier, a lot of memories came back to me. I remembered more and more about my life back in Boston.
First one was bad.
The sandwich store I went to every day.
Didn't see it.
I want to go to the casino, man. Come on. You don't need to worry about that.
What are you going for?
To make money.
I felt the lights fading as I laid there on the floor.
Ah. Okay.
There was something wrong with the back of my
Nah,
head.
It's fine. I wish I knew this though before we jumped out.
I fucking told you.
Alright, whatever.
I did tell you.
Well, I'm gonna go to the casino. I'm gonna go spend all this money. And then I'm gonna lose it all.
Better see you tomorrow.
Can someone take him to the hospital?
I suddenly felt better and stood back up.
No. He's alright.
As it turned out, I was fine. It just knocked the wind out of me. I went back to my
Right.
station behind the desk, but on the way, I stopped for another cup of water. This time, I figured I'd go
Right,
for
I'll
the
see you
ambient
then.
temperature water.
See you later.
Don't forget to move your bike.
Oh yeah.
Hydration was important in a job like security. You have to talk to the locals an awful lot. God damn, they love
I
talking.
can't remember, but one of his names is Security.
Oh,
Benedict.
As I was walking
Security.
back over to the corner by the ads, something caught my eye. There was something wrong with the flag. Now, the flag looked totally normal, but something was different with it. And I realized what it was. That flag, those stars and stripes, it used to stand for something. Now, after all my time in Boston, I realized Stands for nothing anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
I had to catch some fresh air.
This man speaks true.
On the way out, I tapped one of the pillars holding up the city hall. It was hollow. It was fake. Just like the house of cards that we call justice.
Hey. Sorry, I'm testing out which I can put.
Back out on the steps of City Hall, I realized I had a job to do. There was no ambulances coming. So I started moving the bodies to one side. Grim reminder. Life could be gone in an instant.
Holy shit!
The only person that'll ever remember you was the grave digger. The one who could meet you. All the people trying so hard to forget you, they never can. You're stuck in their brain like a tick.
Every time!
I went back inside the city hall, thinking I'd rid my brain of Baby Shark playing on repeat in there. But I was wrong. I still heard it, going again and again.
Boys,
Alright, no,
Baby
there's
shark.
an officer
Do,
who's
do,
been
do, do,
taken
do, do.
hostage by the family after the two big searches.
At that moment, I
Is it
remembered my
McCain?
son.
I don't know.
He was dead, killed by a drunk driver in 2002. Just another cold reminder
Not
of what
either.
life's like on the
You wanna
streets of
come in my
Boston.
office with me while I work on the caveman?
Sir,
I wasn't in Boston anymore.
under section 15.
Yeah, no worries.
A young dame
Off the-
walked up to me. She started talking about some Section 15 thing. I had no idea what she was talking about. I was quite sure she didn't know what she was talking about. I said, "Hey, ma'am, can I help you?"
2002 Mental Health Act, sir.
She started talking about some kind of mental health act. Again, pretty sure she had no idea what she's talking about. There's no such thing about mental health. You're either normal or you're crazy.
Mental health?
One day I thought I was crazy. Then I realized I was just wearing the wrong socks. Then I got over it. Mental health.
There's
What
a
a joke.
diagnosis for that, sir.
She said to me, "There's a diagnosis for that." I had no idea what she was talking about. I hadn't said a word to this lady yet. I think it's about time to introduce myself. I said,
Yes, sir.
"Excuse me, young dame. Is there anything I can help you with?"
Sir, I'm with the DOJ. Do you like my new badge?
She said she was with the DOJ and inquired if I liked the new badge. She was a pretty thing. Couldn't have been older than 28.
I'm 24, sir.
She said
Apparently.
she was 24 years old. I said, "God, doesn't life age us?" Now me,
Are you
looking
a
how I
cop?
did, and I was only 22.
Wow.
21.
You're a security cop.
Name's Benedict Security, I said to her.
Oh no, that's your name. 5'7".
No, I'm doing
Hair,
a perma character.
none.
Hey, Ali, how you
Hmm.
doing?
Eyes? No, you don't have eyes?
She started asking me weird questions, then crouching down by my cock. I started to feel uncomfortable, so I pulled my gun out for my own safety. Then I realized it was probably a bad idea, so I put it back away. Started thinking about my ex-wife.
Who's your
She would
ex-wife?
reach down for my cock all the time. She'd squeeze it, tell me I was a bad man because I killed that kid. But
Your wife
goddamn, when you're a
would
security
squeeze
guard at a
your
deli,
cock and talk to you about that?
for For some
Are you
reason, she
sure?
was hearing everything I was saying in my mind. But
It's my tarot card, sir. If you tell
she
me
started talking
everything.
about tarot cards. I didn't even play Pokemon. This was clearly a weird lady. I asked her,
Sir,
what does she do around the city? She responded,
I'm with the DOJ.
She responded again saying she was with the DOJ. Now, as a man who's been
DOJ.
around justice departments his entire life, I'd know that means doing a whole lot of nothing. Justice is a
Hey,
lie.
hey.
Just
We
like
do corruption
Diet Coke.
sometimes.
if you're drinking Coke, you're not on a diet. I said to her, hey dame, you gotta smoke. Then I thought I'd
I
be a
don't.
little bit cheeky and I said, well, I guess you're the only thing smoking in here then.
Oh,
I carried on my rounds and went to the 4th floor, see if that glory hole had been fixed yet.
glory hole. I bet you
Dame
could build
started
that.
following from behind me. She was dressed like some kind of punk rocker from the 80s.
What would
She was
happen
holding
if
she was holding a bat.
It's a pool cue.
I realized I'd lied to her. The glory hole was actually on the 1st floor.
Oh,
Apparently that magistrate who gavelled me earlier was in some weird shit. I saw signs about him fucking helicopters everywhere. I didn't know what I got myself into with this job. But I just knew.
Stop
was
talking
being
about
watched.
Umbra.
oh, they have a printer.
Mystic Sorcerers played Stop Talking About Umbra
The young
for
lady got
2,000
excited.
channel points.
Spoken about a printer. I ignored her and carried on towards the bathroom to see if that glory hole had been fixed. I entered a stall. It wasn't the one with the glory hole. But there was a massive juggalo shit in there. So I checked the next stall. No glory hole. I moved on to the next. The strange Scottish thing was still following me around. I checked the medical box to see if there was some anti-crazy pills I could give her. Then I got hungry. To appear my companion that found the glory hole, I went to take a look at it. The glory hole was covered in cock cheese. It made me feel rather ill. I walked back out into the lobby. Then I started vomiting. I felt embarrassed, so I jumped over the railing. Did a combat roll.
Oh. Yo, we have a cafeteria? The fuck?
The lady clearly had never seen the cafeteria before. So I says to her, ain't nothing in here as delicious as you, dame. Then I walked back to the lobby to carry on my job. I pulled my gun for Aura and put it away again.
Of course. Damn, I didn't know we had a cafeteria. We should get someone working there.
I figured it'd been a long shift. It was about time I went back to bed.
Yes, sir.
Maybe Bumblecum will be awake again someday.
Someday. Bubblegum will wake up. And we'll right all that's wrong in the world. And we'll stop.
As I was
brandishing
walking down the
weapons
steps of the city hall,
in the workplace.
a cop car pulled up. An officer got out, started looking at the fire truck that had been parked there earlier. I was confused by the sight.
There's 2 of them. We can take them.
Turns out I was wrong. The dame informed me there were 2 of them.
Who are you, sir?
Is it Rio's mum?
One of the officers greeted me by saying, "Who are you, sir?" I responded, "Nice to meet you. I'm Benedict Security. I just started here." I inquired how his day was going, and he responded,
Why are you
Huh.
wearing my uniform?
He responded, "Why are you wearing my uniform?"
So, with,
To
with
which
certain people,
I owned up. I have no
we-
idea why I'm wearing this uniform, sir. It was the first thing I found.
It's his make a wish is to be a cop for a day. So we.
I had
we
no
just play
idea what the dame was
along.
talking about,
We just play along.
but
with
I could
it.
barely hear anything with all the silence.
Benedict, you're such a good
So I walked back
cop.
inside. I don't know why she was saying I was a cop. I wasn't a cop. I wasn't even hired on as a security guard yet. I was just a guy from Boston with a dream.
You'll get there one day, Benedict. Don't listen to those fake ass motherfuckers.
I had no idea why the lady was so aggressive towards those cops. They'd done nothing wrong. They were just asking why I was wearing the uniform.
I'm allergic to pork.
I stood back by the
Sir-
door and took guard.
You're gonna have to change.
The officer came back inside and said I'd have to change.
No.
I didn't know if he meant my clothes or more my personality. But if there's
You're
one
gonna have
thing
to
I learned
change
from
your
being a
clothes.
security guard in Boston,
No.
a guy like me,
Yeah.
Like I said,
Just
sir,
can't change.
he's with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and this is his wish is to be a cop for a day. So
it reached a point
know,
where I had to
he-
request
we don't let
that
him
the
out
cop
often.
asked the lady to stop speaking for me. I was starting to get anxious. For some reason, somewhere deep in the back of my mind, I started to feel like I was in trouble.
Well,
Bob,
you are
I was
kind of
good. I would let
impersonating
you
a
know
government
the
official.
the Make-A-Wish thing is a children's organization. This is not a child.
The female officer
Yeah.
was correct. I was not a child. I figured I better not cause a scene, so I took myself to the cafeteria to see if I could take off my badges.
You're gonna charge that guy? He's
On the way to the
obviously-
cafeteria, a
If
flood
he
of
doesn't
shame came
change,
over
yeah.
me.
Hey.
I realized something similar happened before back in Boston. I got hit with a impersonation charge. I had to make sure that didn't occur again. I reached down to my clothing.
I'm gonna look away, sir. You let me
Yeah.
know.
At that moment, it hit me. I was fucked. There was clearly nothing I could do but apologize. They were the only clothes I could afford. And there hadn't been a high up enough judge to hire me on yet so I could get an official uniform. I realized at that point it was over. My dream of being a security guard. Instead, I was just like the rest. Goddamn criminal.
Are you done now? Okay.
The officer asked if I was
So
done.
you don't
Turned
have
around
any
and
other
chuckled.
clothes?
He inquired if I had any other clothes, as to which I shamefully had to admit no. No, I did not. I pled with the man. Could I possibly just keep the patches on my shoulders and promise to identify myself as not police?
Well, you don't have any badges. You just have the logo.
I also stated that as soon as I was paid by whichever judge would hire me, I would make sure I purchased different clothing.
Daisy, come over here.
Shame and fear in my...
Stay there, sir. Just stay there.
The cops went over to speak alone. I was stood there frozen in fear, but I couldn't let them see it. How was I going to protect anybody if I couldn't even protect my own shame from being laid bare to everyone around me? I did the only thing I thought possible at the time. I folded my arms to look tough. Really? I was self-soothing. There were no doubts about it. I was in touch with my feelings. And I felt like those cops were about to hurt my last one and tell me my dream was over and I was going to prison. Just like I should have gone to prison back in Boston when I shot that kid who I thought was reaching for a gun at the city hall. Really? He was reaching for his wallet so he could pay a ticket for his Vespa. Maybe I'd always been a piece of shit. Maybe Pa was right before the gout got him. Maybe I was good for nothing. I thought I was finally somewhere where I could be something.
Alright, sir,
something
sir,
good.
could you
The officer
can
came
you show
back
me
over
ID?
and asked to see my ID again. To which I
Oh,
responded,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
"Of course, officer."
Okay, so you're gonna be allowed to wear the
we need to-
uniform, alright? Just let people know that it's gonna be on your MDT profile. Okay, we've really gotta go.
The officers had to go, but they showed me a great kindness that day. Benedict security was in fucking business. No, he hasn't been hired. Listen, we're not going that long. Okay, I am fucking exhausted, but I just felt like I had to do a bit more of this when people were around. After that interaction,
hello.
I was feeling a little bit terse. A grey-haired but young bearded man approached me and said, "Oh, well, hello," in a Scottish accent. I responded with, "Hey kid, how you doing?"
I'm alright, how about yourself, sir?
He asked me
You a cop?
how I was doing in return, to which I responded, "I'm fine. And no, I'm not a cop. These are the only clothes I could afford."
Alright.
At that
Didn't know
moment,
they
I
sold
realized
this-
I was
these
very,
clothes.
very thirsty. So I made my way back over to the water cooler. A young lady with bunny ears gave me a cash envelope. She gave me an empty cash envelope. It really pissed me off because there was a shredder on the desk, but that's just part and parcel of being a security guard at the city hall. You meet all kinds of people. I open a stream that's mostly doing some weird creative shit. Hey, Ali, it's nearly time. I need to message you at some point, actually, because
Tyany707 subscribed to your channel for 1 month.
because I'm getting the results next week, and I'll be going back to work, hopefully. Yeah, you never do. Hey, Tinny, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. I fucking love money. I rehydrated myself quickly. You have? Hold on. You've messaged me 5 times. There you go. I put you back to the top. I get a lot of messages now. Sorry. And also remember, I have been really fucking unwell. I apologise though. I'll try and be more talkative. Ali, this is not the time to be healing on me. Jesus. Once I'd rehydrated myself, I went back out to the steps to see what was going on out there. The young man said something very strange. He said, "Time for hot girl shit." I'm not gonna ERP with you. Jesus. I don't do sexting. What do you think? Who do you think I am? Fucking Max Lane? Jesus. I walked back out into the summer air. It was a lot more humid than it was the day before. I could feel little beads of sweat forming on my brow. You overpriced me anyway, motherfucker. Actually, the emotes were pretty reasonable. Ali, go solo. See, if you went solo, I would market you way more. I don't like corporations. I went over to have a look at the fire truck, see what kind it was. Oh yeah, I recognize this type of fire truck. This was a 1962 Zambusi. We made about 30,000 of them, using old bits of steel left over from the World War II. They were very popular. I wondered to myself, how did one get out here? All the way out in Los Santos. A 1962 Zambusi. Crazy how this world works. Old, battered and broken things. All coming together to congeal in the pond in Los Santos. After I'd finished staring at it pondering the fire truck, I headed back inside. Suddenly it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'd been working here for nearly two whole shifts, and I still hadn't been hired. I figured it was time for me to make a stand. So I went back over to the door in the back where I just saw the young man talking about hot girl shit walkthrough. I knocked at the door several times waiting for a response. You just have their name along you? Well, that's not solo then, Ali, goddammit. Alright, Donna, take care. I'll be in touch. The knocking was getting me nowhere. I walked back over into the main lobby. There were two gentlemen back at the desk, probably inquiring about paychecks or licenses. I let them go about their business and went back to the door to stand guard. On the way I noticed something. The light bulb I tried to fix earlier when I fell off the balcony. It was somehow back in place. I was curious, so I went over to the elevator, hoping I could see what had happened to it. I did my silly little run. It would appear I had come down with a severe case of the zoomies. I was excited by this. Back up on the first floor balcony, my suspicion was correct. The light bulb had settled itself back into place, and I wondered, how did this come to be? Was there some kind of night maintenance guy here? Had he fixed it? I fell again. I was fine this time though. Didn't even knock the wind out of me. I figured it was probably time for my daily round of practicing with my piece. I should get low to know what was gonna fucking happen. That's actually a very good idea. I walked down onto the street, knowing that I had to do something bad. The shooting range was about 15 fucking blocks away. I figured I couldn't do that, and I couldn't be a bad guy anymore. So I called the PD across the road. Figured I'd inquire about possibly using their shooting range. It hit the fifth ring. There was no answer. And then the sixth.
You have reached an automated voice
No
messaging
answer.
system.
It's like back in Boston. God forbid you really needed help. I started making my way downtown, walking fast. Pace was fast, and I was shooting range bound. None. I accidentally ran through a bush. Something in there stung me. I don't think it was poison ivy, because I was definitely allergic to that, and by then I would be the size of a fucking house with all the sweating. Then I started pondering what the strangest thing to be allergic would be. And then it hit me. We already had the strangest allergy. Peanuts. Imagine dying from being near a fucking peanut. How pathetic. Then it took me back to my research on peanut allergies I did in 2017. That peanut allergies were pretty much man-made. There were a few cases of peanut allergies, and all of a sudden, everybody started banning peanuts everywhere. The human body stopped having a resistance to it. It got worse and worse, and it was of our own doing. That's humanity wrapped up in a neat little bow right there. That's the explanation for it all. Me. Benedict Security, with the answers to what ailed the humans so much. We were our own monsters, our own pain, and our own ailments. But I wasn't. While I was walking, I started to hear voices. I heard a man with a bit of a drawl, talking about someone leaving. Now while I wanted to inspect closer, I knew I couldn't. So I carried on walking past, keeping an eye over the railing just to see if I could catch sight of who was talking. I must have been nearing the shooting range by now. I was getting tired, sweaty. My flop sweat was unbelievable. I could have drowned the kindergarten with it. I heard some loud sirens going every which way. Every which way but where I was going. There was no chance of me getting a ride. Before I knew it, I'd walked nearly the whole way to the gun store. Finally saw a car. The first one I'd seen since I left City Hall. Let me think about a little anecdote I heard from a used car salesman back in the early 2000s. He said to me, "Hey Benedict, or Benny, as they called me back then. You ever heard of the phenomena when you buy a car? You buy yourself a new car. You love it. You love it like it was your own child. You love that car so much, you know what happens, Benny? You start seeing that fucking car everywhere. Because that's just the human nature. Once you have something, you start to notice it all around you. It starts to lose its value. That's what we is as humans. We're self-defeating. We find ourselves in the most happiest position in the world. We'd find a way to ruin it. Like when humans invented peanut butter. We had the perfect food right there. And then we had to go and all get peanut allergies. It was a sickness, cancer in our society. And I just knew, if anybody came into my city hall while I was the security guard on duty there, I'd put them down. And I would put them down hard. I was walking up the side of the ammunition, ready to use the shooting range, when I realized I needed to recheck the amount of ammo I had. I had a 4 clip, 54 rounds on backup. We was in business. I could probably afford to use 2 whole clips testing my gun. I went inside. So the guy's hard drive should probably be checked. And I found a suppressor on the floor. I pulled out my piece. And I attached the suppressor to it. But I realized it was illegal, so I took it off. And I immediately called 911. Or maybe the Blaine County Sheriff's Office, where I'd met that sheriff earlier.
BCSO, what's your non-emergency?
A kindly man answered the phone. He said, BCSO, what is your non-emergency? To which I responded, hello there. My name's Benedict Security. I just came to the ammunition on Adams Apple Boulevard. And inside on the floor, I found a suppressor. I figured I would do the right thing and report it, so hopefully a sheriff, if not busy, could come down and collect it from me. To which he responded,
Okay, I'll have a look, see if we have an available unit. Go and have a look for you.
I thanked the man for his time and hung up, then went to wait outside. I realized I still had my piece out, so I put it away. I started getting bored of waiting, so I figured I'd go inside. I'm sure if the cops showed up, they'd come in and see me. Hell, maybe let them a few shots off for practice. Yeah, we'd get them there quicker. Then I realized the shit streamer playing me kept fucking up his speech, so I selected easy, because I was a baby boy. Bang. 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 Each target I hit felt like somebody compromising the security of City Hall. Then someone hit me. I hadn't checked the forecast all day. I looked on my watch as I reloaded my gun and saw there was a storm due to hit in about half an hour. Figured I'd finish out my shift, probably go to sleep then. Look at that. I'd achieve a perfect score, just like I had with the ladies back when I was a youth. Afraid of wasting any more ammo, I walked back out to the entrance to wait for an officer to come and collect this nefarious suppressor from me. I got tired of waiting for the sheriffs, so I figured I'd try calling another department. A tow truck drove by with a note of a tow truck on it. I figured I'd call the state police this time, see if they could send somebody to help me out. I was waiting and waiting, and the phone just kept ringing. I was starting to get agitated by the long waiting times for somebody to come collect the suppressor from me.
You have reached an automated voice messaging system.
Well, looked like I was getting no help from state. I called the Metropolitan Police Department's line, waiting for a response from them.
You have reached an automated voice message.
I was getting bored of waiting, so I figured I'd do the only thing I knew how to do. I called the emergency line. started to feel hopeless. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. I stole a car. But this wasn't a regular car. This was a taxi cab. But to me it was more than a taxi cab. It was my ticket to get back on shift. Unfortunately, the fucking thing was busted. So I ran across the road and I tried to steal a gold postal truck. But I ran away. So, I guess I was back walking. I figured if the cops weren't gonna come and collect the suppressor from me, I may as well use it. Now I felt like a hitman. Like from the video game, Hitman. You know, that Hitman. I was getting tired. I'd been walking for miles and had a cup of water in about 17 minutes. This had quickly become a survival situation. How was I gonna get back to the city hall? There was only one thing to do. I called the DOJ line, waited for a response.
DOJ?
The phone was picked up nearly immediately. There was a familiar voice on the other end. I think it was the dame with the glasses and tattoos.
Hello, Benedict.
She said, "Hello, call me by my name," which I responded, "I'm in a bit of a serious situation. I'm stranded on Pillbox Hill. I'm very dehydrated
What are you doing
and I
on
can't seem to
Pillbox
make
Hill?
it back to City Hall." She asked me what I was doing there,
Okay.
and I stated I went to practice at the shooting range.
I just need to go pick Benedict up.
And I found a suppressor. Police wouldn't answer the phone line, so I'm keeping it.
No, you can't keep that, Benedict.
As I was running up the off-ramp onto the highway, she said I couldn't keep it. To which I responded, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I don't have a suppressor. I would never do anything illegal."
Okay, good. Right, whereabouts are you currently? Because I'm just coming down to get a car out to get you.
As I went up the ramp on the Power Street highway, up,
Right, gotcha.
my knees started to feel weak. I was clearly in a survival situation now.
Get off the fucking
I'd been
road.
allowed by the Metro
Get onto a
Police
pavement.
officers to keep my costume on, or I guess my uniform, but I'm guessing the day hadn't allowed me to go by unnoticed. The sun was beating down on me. The light was bright. I was in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Okay, Benedict, I'm on my way to get you. Just stay
I was on the side of the
still,
road.
Get onto a pavement.
The lights were changing, and I figured I'd get onto the sidewalk. I was exhausted, but in the distance I saw a car approaching.
Right, you're on power, you said. Yeah. Oh, I think I see you.
I saw a car approaching fast. It was across the street. It drove straight past me. Then it turned back around. I was saved. I hung up the phone and hopped
Get
inside
in.
the car. I thanked the lady profusely for helping me. After that
You're
ordeal,
welcome,
I become very tired.
Do you need to have a little rest?
Little did she know, I actually still had the suppressor on my gun, but she couldn't see it. It was in my pocket.
Hey,
I
Benedict.
figured if I had to put down anybody
You do know you're
inside the
thinking
city
out
hall,
loud, right?
nobody would be able to hear me because I had a suppressor. She said something about me being loud, but I couldn't hear her over my internal monologue. We pulled into the garage, and I was excited to get back to work and give me another cup of that water cooler water. I was very dehydrated.
Yep, I've got my...
Thing is, now I had the suppressor on my pistol. I couldn't wait to pull it out. I was excited. I was a little bit bloodthirsty.
Have a fucking suppressor.
The lady was screaming at me about something to do with a suppressor, but the door to the elevator closed before I could hear any of it. I went back to the ground floor. I was completely parched at this point. I was so dehydrated I had to immediately make my way over to the water cooler
Hey, you need some water?
and get a cup of water. He'd
You're
asked me on my
Benedict,
way over
right?
to the cooler if I wanted some water and inquired as to if my name was Benedict or not. To which I responded, yes, and waited for further questions. In the meantime, I grabbed a cup of
Nice.
ambient temperature water.
No, Roberta, one of the ADA, sorry. Just saying that you got hired recently, so congrats, welcome aboard.
He started saying I'd been hired, but little did he know, I actually wasn't hired. I was waiting for somebody of a higher caliber
Have some
to come around
water.
and hire me.
Might help you not need to go to the fountain.
He gave me some water, bottled, and I thanked him. Little did he know, either, that the suppressor I'd found at the ammunition, I'd actually kept, was currently on my gun. I walked over to the flag and took it out just to admire it. I felt like such a badass. I put it away and walked back to the lobby to carry on keeping guard. No matter who they were, none of the peanut allergy motherfuckers or the bureaucrats could stop me. I was a man with a mission and a suppressed gap. Bet none of my family back in Boston could ever dream of what I'd be doing. I was gonna make a difference in the city. One shift at a time. Day by day, week by week. Cup of water by cup of water. I was gonna make the city a better place. I was gonna do what my father told me I'd never do. I would be a good man. I would be the best of men. I would be Benedict fucking security. I walked out through the lobby, approaching the front doors. The only thing on my mind was my job and my cool suppressor on my gun. I wanted to test the power of the suppressor, so I pulled it out around the head of one of the dead bodies. It was like a whisper. It felt amazing. And a thought occurred to me. If that guy with the tow truck showed up again, I'd shoot his tires out with my suppressed gun. I went down the steps a little bit, walking out of the shade, letting the sun greet me, warm my skin a bit. Even though I'd just been out in it for a prolonged period of time, without a single cup of water on the way there or back, I was thankful for the sun. It may have been a big ball of heat, but it was my big ball of heat. Brought me comfort, lit me up in my dark times. God, what a beautiful day it was. What a beautiful job to have. What a beautiful city. I spent enough time dilly-dallying and making love to the sun. I went back inside the city hall. The door creaked as it opened. The floor hard underneath my feet. It was that kind of fancy marble you'd get from a upscale IKEA or somewhere. Clearly not real marble, just veneered. So at that point I realized I was being watched. I had 5 viewers. After all that ordeal, I realized I was peckish, so I went to the cafeteria to take my lunch break. I sat down on one of the couches, for which I had no idea why they were there. Figured I'd eat a chicken fajita. It was kind of delicious, in a fucked up kind of way, but goddamn it filled me up good. My Barney's beverage had gone bad, so I took it out of my pocket. I wasn't getting fucking food poisoning again. I fell, but I got back up. I walked back into the lobby and saw that that piece of shit tow truck driver was back. I took my expired drink and threw it at the back of his head. I missed and hit his right thigh instead. But I think I made it clear. If he was going to spend his time loitering here, tackling me or picking me up, we was going to have a problem. Especially now that I had a suppressed piece. He approached me. He stood there silently, staring off in the corner. He picked me up.
Get your hands up, Benedict.
That was the last straw. I was pissed. I was throwing punches.
Oh, Benedict isn't there knocking out Daniel in the front lobby.
He was fighting back. That made me more angry.
Daniel is knocking
I
out
started
Benedict.
considering
I don't know
pulling my
if the
piece.
Let's see who wins.
I pulled my gun and held him up.
Okay.
He didn't value his life and carried on punching me.
Are you okay, sir?
But little did he know, Mama didn't raise no bitch. I was getting back up. And he crossed the line. He came up
Sir,
and
do you
started
need
trying to pick me
Psalms?
up again. I was rightfully pissed. Carl was asking me if I needed an ambulance. I told Carl, probably the
How do you know my name?
fucker who just attacked the security guard.
Yeah, how do you know my name? I never gave you my
He
name.
asked
I don't know,
me how
man.
I
I
knew.
think the security guard attacked me first.
He asked me how I knew his name, without realizing he told me his name earlier. It was time for the tow truck driver to leave, especially as I couldn't shoot him because it was 14 minutes until storm. I heard the kid over the radio talk about a suppressor on my gun, so I quickly took it off. I put it in my pocket, fiddled around with it.
Carl, I scratched an itch, and I might have scratched it a little too hard.
What do you mean? Oh, sorry. What do you mean?
I realized this tow truck goon wasn't gonna stop. So,
I scratched an itch, and I can't tell if I scratched it too much.
I did what I was thinking about earlier that day.
No, I put too many on, I think. I scratched an itch. I went from nothing to everywhere.
I couldn't get the fucking suppressor to work anymore. I didn't know what was wrong with it. It's all fucked up. I realized what the problem was. I had become scuffed. But I think I may have fixed it. The gun wasn't gonna work. But I was pissed off.
What the fuck is that parking, Daniel? Look at this. You see that car over there? What the fuck?
You know, it was bouncing up and down and moving all over the place earlier.
So it's anomalous then. No, that's great, isn't it?
I approached the Jabrizi fire truck I was looking at earlier on. Figured I'd check if it was unlocked. Even though it was sunny and it was cold in my hands. I let off some water. Guess you could say I let off some steam. realized at that point I was all fucked up. I probably should get some medical help.
Hey, Benedict.
I swear he sounds a lot like fucking Reggie.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt the elderberries.
As I walked up the steps, the tow truck driver threw out some barb about my mother. That was it. I beat him down with a flashlight. I was still a security guard though. I had to do the right thing. I called for medical help.
Ah, my face. My beautiful face.
But God, just like when I tried to call the police, there was no answer.
You have reached an
I tried calling again. There was no answer again. So I picked him up and took him inside. He was a piece of shit,
At least
but
I'm
I
not
couldn't
going
let him
to
bleed out on
freeze.
the steps of City Hall.
So
Goddamn.
he's gonna let me bleed inside in a broom closet instead.
That sun was hot out there. I kept trying the Sam's line. They weren't answering.
You got a little something on your right boot there, sir.
I had some brains on my right boot. I checked my watch and saw there was only 9 minutes until the storm was coming. I had to take drastic measures. Plunged my hands inside his pockets looking for a key to that fucking tow truck. I had to get him to a hospital myself and hope they had an on-call doctor there to help us both, because I was all fucked up.
This external monologue killing me.
There was a
You
key
sure
for
you
a
didn't
bravado.
escape out of the?
I asked the man, was that the key to his truck?
Think so? I don't know. You look at it, it should tell you.
The lady Roberta walked back in. I explained to her I had to beat this guy down with my flashlight and I was taking him to the hospital. Sam's wasn't answering. I beat the shit out of him with a fucking flashlight. Somehow, he was still talking. Got outside, tested the key fob. I must have been out of range because nothing happened, or I'd got the wrong key. Felt especially hard walking down the steps. The man was quite overweight for his height, weighing me down, every step heavier than the last. Luckily, I got in range and it was the right key. So I heaved Brendan Fraser in the whale into the shotgun seat. I climbed inside the cab. And I took off. Where I was headed, I didn't know. So I checked the GPS and looked for a hospital. I found one on Cripps Boulevard. Didn't have long to get there, but I was gonna get there. I started
Metal
messing with the
Chewy.
buttons.
Holy shit.
I didn't know what the button did until I started hearing a loud scraping noise. It looked like in my excitement I tried the controls. I'd moved the bed of the tow truck down and it started scraping against the floor. Hopefully that didn't damage the truck, because God knows I didn't have money. We were nearing the hospital when a thought occurred to me. What if this guy spoke? What if he told the cops about what happened? What I did was self-defense, but they believe me? Would anybody believe a security guard who'd been harassed by the same guy 3 times at the city hall? Probably not. So I didn't go to the hospital. I went to the ocean to dump him instead. Then I realized I probably shouldn't, and I took him to the hospital. I parked the tow truck badly in the case that it got towed, because that would be very ironic. Somehow he snapped back to my hands, and I carried him inside,
how did that one happen?
hoping that the on-call doctor would be able to help.
Nancy.
The man started calling for a name, Nancy. I didn't know who that was.
Oh!
By God, I hope she was around. We arrived on the treatment floor. Depressing-looking place, with those stained wood doors you'd only see in shitty hospitals. I took him around the corner to the recovery beds. I threw him in the first one I saw. Then I laid down myself, and I waited for Nancy, and hoped it'd work. You know what? It did work. Nancy walked in. She was a buxom dame. She had the kind of breasts you just wanted to punch, but in like a soft kind of way. She said to me, "Howdy, darling. Let me make you feel better." She started giving me all kinds of drugs. I felt fantastic. All the pain went away. I could feel my bruises unbruising. I laid in that bed for what felt like hours. God, it was peaceful. And that goddamn tow truck driver finally shut the fuck up for a while.
Not for long. Fuck you.
And then he started talking. It was as if he could hear my internal monologue.
I think we call this an external monologue.
I don't know what he was saying. Something about an external monologue. But I wasn't worried about it. Right now, the only thing I was focused on was getting better. And boy, howdy I was. I got up from that bed. I felt like a new man. I got the wrong belt loop and took my ID out. I was really reaching for my pistol.
Oh boy, he's gonna take me out back like old dear.
I still couldn't get the suppressor back
Time
in
to
the
run.
gun. I said to the tow truck driver, "This is your last chance. You stop being a little
boy.
fucker, I'm ending you." What he didn't realize was I still had his key. He tried to run away, but he wasn't the smartest one. I still had his fucking key. And what else I had
Let me zip
was
tie
my
him.
flashlight.
Oh!
I went to beat him down again, but he was wriggly. I hit him once. He tackled me. I grabbed at his leg.
Oh,
He couldn't get away from me. I was just too powerful. Every time he'd knock me to the ground, I'd grab him, just in the hopes he'd start feeling how fucking annoying it was. I put my flashlight away, annoyed that I still had all the injuries, but felt better somehow. I figured it was time to call for a truce, so I turned to the kid and I said, "What's your name?" He responded,
What did you say? Speak
"Didn't
up,
hear
old
me,"
man.
so I repeated myself. "What's your name, kid?" I inquired, and to which he responded,
It's Rig. Oh god. Old man, I think you need to get your glasses back on. You obviously aren't seeing where you're driving.
He referred to me as an old man. What he didn't realize was I was 22 years old. I asked him how old he was.
Date of birth, yo, 1/6/2004. Damn. Time has not treated you kindly.
I figured I'd hang on to his tow truck keys after this. He was still being a little prick. He could earn them back when he'd been a little bit nicer.
Nicer, I'll be nicer when you can drive better.
He was trying to get at me,
Oh my god, he's trying to kill us.
so I crashed his tow truck into a wall. Just to show him what bad driving was like. But I don't think he quite understood.
No, definitely a
put the
bad
bed
driver.
of-
It's
I
smoking
put the
now.
bed of a tow truck down. And I took him for a little drift. Then I went to sleep. I'm so fucking tired. It's 20 past 2. Hey, I did it. I've survived like 2 streams now. Woo. The server was restarted still. I had to wait for Umber RP. He started back up again. But I wouldn't wait. I kept clicking, start playing. And then I went to check the changelogs on the Discord. I tried one last time to start playing, just so I could go drop that dickhead's key back off, and then go to sleep. I was done for the day. I looked down at my desk and picked up my phone. I went to Netflix to see if there were any good movies on there at the moment, or if I'd have to use a VPN. I hadn't been on Netflix for a while. There's a movie called The Creator, and Tenet was on there. Prometheus. There was a bunch of shit on there, as always. I gave up on trying to find something good on Netflix, so I went to look at Amazon Prime instead. I woke back up in a stupor. Piece of shit tow truck driver was nowhere to be seen. I started to ascend the steps of the city hall.
You might be the stupidest person I've ever met. I'm so sorry. It was an honest mistake. Fuck, that felt good. Well, you're a nobody.
Got back out in City Hall. There were other guards. I've been replaced. Luckily, I didn't have the key on me anymore. So that was it. That was where I rested. Night, everybody.